Get ready for what could be the most explosive transfer window Arsenal has had in years, because what we're about to break down here is absolutely massive and signals a complete shift in how this football club operates in the market. Sky Sports dropped a bombshell this evening that has sent shockwaves through the entire Arsenal fan base, and it's confirmation that the Gunners are not just window shopping anymore, but are actually preparing to launch a colossal £65 million offer for Bournemouth's dynamic midfielder Semenyo. This isn't some agent-planted story to generate interest or leverage with other clubs. This is genuine concrete movement with real substance behind it, as multiple sources are now reporting that discussions have progressed to an advanced stage and Arsenal's hierarchy are working around the clock to structure a deal that works for all parties involved. What makes this particularly fascinating is the speed and determination with which Gunners Updates understands the club is moving, because Mikel Arteta and his recruitment team have clearly identified Semenyo as the exact profile needed to take this squad to the next level in their relentless pursuit of Premier League glory. The Ghanaian international brings everything you could possibly want in a modern midfielder with his combination of raw physical power, exceptional ball-carrying ability, defensive work rate that never stops, and the technical quality to contribute meaningfully in the attacking third when Arsenal needs someone to break down stubborn defenses or drive forward in transition. According to the supremely reliable Fabrizio Romano, who rarely gets these things wrong, Arsenal's internal conversations are already focused on the financial structure of the potential deal, how they would integrate Semenyo into the tactical framework that Arteta has spent years perfecting, and what kind of impact fee would be required to convince Bournemouth to part with one of their most valuable assets mid-season when they're fighting their own battles in the league. The famous "here we go" confirmation hasn't arrived just yet, but all the signs are pointing in one very clear direction, and that direction is Arsenal flexing their financial muscles in a way that demonstrates they're absolutely serious about competing for every major trophy available this season. Semenyo's emergence as one of the Premier League's most impressive midfielders outside the traditional Big Six has been nothing short of remarkable, and scouts from virtually every top club in England have been monitoring his development closely because his ability to press aggressively, win duels consistently, carry the ball through midfield with purpose, and contribute goals and assists makes him an incredibly rare commodity in today's market. Bournemouth are obviously fully aware of what they possess, and they're not going to make this easy for Arsenal or any other interested party, which explains why negotiations are expected to be tough and potentially drawn out over the coming days and weeks. However, the fact that Arsenal are prepared to table a bid in the region of £65 million sends an unmistakable message to both Bournemouth and their rivals that this is a club ready to back their manager with serious investment when the right opportunity presents itself. This move also reveals so much about Arteta's vision for the squad, because he's clearly looking at the punishing fixture schedule that comes with competing in the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup and League Cup simultaneously, and recognizing that depth isn't enough anymore, but rather you need multiple players capable of starting in crucial matches without any noticeable drop in quality or intensity. Semenyo fits that profile perfectly, because he's not being targeted as a squad player or backup option, but as someone who could realistically start in the biggest games of the season and genuinely improve Arsenal's ability to control matches physically and tactically. While the Semenyo pursuit dominates the headlines right now, Gunners Updates can also confirm that Arsenal are simultaneously working on securing their long-term future by keeping very close tabs on one of Europe's most exciting young midfield prospects, Aya Baddy, with reports indicating that the club is currently positioned at the front of the queue for his signature, having made a strong impression on both the player and his representatives through their ambitious project. Proven track record of developing young talent, and the undeniable appeal of working under a coach like Arteta, who has transformed several young players into world-class performers. Romano has verified that this interest is absolutely genuine and ongoing, rather than speculative chatter designed to keep agents happy or generate headlines. with Arsenal's extensive scouting network having monitored Baddy's progress closely for an extended period and consistently filing glowing reports about his technical abilities, tactical intelligence, composure under pressure, and maturity that seems almost impossible for someone his age. The young Frenchman has been praised extensively by coaches and analysts for his exceptional press resistance, his ability to read the game several moves ahead, his positioning that allows him to control tempo and dictate play, and technical quality on the ball that fits seamlessly with Arsenal's possession-based attacking philosophy that demands midfielders who can receive under pressure and play through lines consistently. This dual strategy of aggressively pursuing Semenyo while simultaneously laying the groundwork for Bouaddi perfectly encapsulates where Arsenal are as an institution right now, because this isn't a club thinking in terms of the next 6 months or even the next season, but rather a club with a 5 to 10-year plan that involves dominating English and European football by stacking immediate quality, while simultaneously securing future superstars before their valuations skyrocket, and they become financially prohibitive. It also demonstrates just how much Arsenal's recruitment philosophy has evolved under the current leadership structure, because gone are the days of panic buying expensive players who don't fit the system or waiting until the final hours of the transfer window to scramble for solutions, replaced instead by a methodical, calculated approach that identifies targets early, conducts extensive due diligence, maintains constant communication, and acts decisively when opportunities arise. Supporters can genuinely feel this transformation happening in real time, because this is categorically not the Arsenal of previous years who would hesitate at critical moments or allow rival clubs to gazump them at the last second, but rather a confident, ambitious organization that knows exactly what it wants, understands its own identity and strengths, and possesses the financial firepower and conviction to commit £65 million when they believe a player can genuinely elevate the squad's ceiling. If this Semenyo deal progresses the way Sky Sports and other reliable outlets are suggesting, it could represent one of those transformative signings that doesn't simply fill a gap in the squad or provide rotation options, but fundamentally alters the dynamic and balance of the entire midfield by injecting steel, relentless energy, driving forward thrust, and that invaluable Premier League experience that you simply cannot replicate or purchase elsewhere. Meanwhile, the ongoing monitoring of Bouaddi demonstrates that Arsenal are protecting their investment in future success by ensuring the next generation of midfield excellence is already being cultivated and secured before other clubs wake up to his enormous potential. As negotiations continue to unfold and the transfer window intensifies with each passing day, the message being broadcast from the Emirates Stadium to the rest of the football world is absolutely crystal clear and impossible to misinterpret. Arsenal are not content to sit back and observe from the sidelines. They're not interested in moral victories or making up the numbers, but instead they're determined to compete at the absolute highest level, dominate their opponents both domestically and in Europe, and stay consistently ahead of the curve through intelligent strategic recruitment that balances immediate impact with long-term sustainability. This combination of raw ambition backed by coherent strategy and serious financial commitment could genuinely end up defining Arsenal's entire season, and potentially the next several years if these moves fall into place exactly as the club's decision-makers hope and expect. What is happening right now in the transfer market regarding Arsenal could legitimately be described as seismic because Gunners Updates is locked into every development, monitoring every report, analyzing every piece of information. And today we have something that goes beyond speculation straight into the realm of genuine blockbuster transfer warfare. Forget vague whispers circulating on social media or unverified rumors from questionable sources, because we're examining a legitimate full-blown £52 million bidding war for a player who genuinely possesses the potential to become the foundational piece of Mikel Arteta's midfield for the next decade or possibly longer. The player in question is the sensational 18-year-old French prodigy Aya Baddy, whose performances in Ligue 1 have captured the attention of virtually every elite club in Europe and caused recruitment departments to scramble for position in what's becoming an increasingly intense race for his signature. The tension surrounding this potential transfer is absolutely palpable, with multiple heavyweight clubs circling aggressively, but Arsenal's recruitment team, which has earned tremendous credibility through a series of excellent signings in recent windows, is making an extremely strong push to secure this generational talent before competitors can establish themselves. The latest intelligence coming from sources on the continent suggests that Arsenal is genuinely in the driver's seat right now, with the most advanced negotiations and clearest pathway to completing a deal. The transfer market's most trusted and reliable reporters are speaking about this situation with increasing frequency and confidence, which means the hype is transitioning from hopeful speculation into concrete reality that supporters can actually get excited about. Fabrizio Romano, who has built his entire reputation on accuracy and insider knowledge, has personally confirmed that both Arsenal and Chelsea are monitoring Baddy's development with extremely intense interest, which validates all the noise that's been emanating from France over recent weeks. More significantly, French journalist Fabrice Hawkins, who works for RMC Sport and is considered highly credible on matters involving French football, has taken things considerably further by claiming that Arsenal are the most likely destination and are genuinely prepared to submit a substantial offer somewhere in the region of 45 million euros, which converts to approximately £39.3 million during the upcoming January transfer window. This represents clear and undeniable evidence of the aggressive forward-thinking recruitment strategy that has been instilled by Arsenal's sporting director, who, according to multiple reports, is already engaged in direct communication with Baddy's representatives in an attempt to establish personal terms and demonstrate the club's commitment. Arsenal are desperately trying to position themselves ahead of their rivals, knowing full well that missing out on a talent of this extraordinary magnitude could prove to be a mistake that haunts the club for the next decade. This is categorically not a scattergun approach, where Arsenal are throwing money at every available young player hoping something sticks, but rather a surgical, focused, and ruthlessly efficient recruitment operation targeting specific profiles that fit the system perfectly. Now we need to address the development that momentarily caused widespread panic throughout the Arsenal fanbase, which was the news that Bouaddi had signed a brand new long-term contract, with Lille extending his commitment until 2029. Did this contract extension kill Arsenal's £52 million dream before it could even properly materialize? Absolutely not, according to our detailed analysis and understanding of how these situations typically unfold. This was actually a masterful chess move orchestrated by Lille's management, not to keep the player in France long-term, but specifically to solidify and maximize his eventual transfer value when he inevitably departs. While some reports suggesting that a deal has already been fully agreed with the player himself might be slightly premature and getting ahead of the actual timeline, multiple sources indicate that Lille have essentially resigned themselves to losing Bouaddi in the near future and have strategically set their asking price somewhere above 50 million euros, which translates to approximately £43.7 million. Hence the sensational £52 million figure that keeps appearing in various reports, which reflects the true intensity and competitiveness of this chase involving multiple elite clubs. The new contract simply ensures that Lille maximizes their financial return from developing such an exceptional prospect, and confirms that he's considered a premium asset that only a very select group of clubs, including Arsenal, Chelsea, and Paris Saint-Germain, can realistically afford to compete for. So why exactly is there such obsession and frenetic activity surrounding a teenager who won't turn 19 until later this year? Aya Baddy is quite simply a phenomenon, a deep-lying playmaker blessed with the kind of maturity, football intelligence, technical security, and tactical awareness that you very rarely encounter in someone so young and inexperienced at the highest level. Despite his age, he has already accumulated over 70 senior appearances across various competitions and boasts valuable UEFA experience, competing against top-level opposition, which accelerates his development significantly. He operates as a smooth, assured presence in central midfield, a passing maestro who anchors everything, progresses the ball with surgical precision through tight spaces, and plays with a calmness and composure that completely belies his teenage status. His profile has been described by numerous analysts as virtually tailor-made for Mikel Arteta's tactical system, where he could function either as the perfect partner alongside Declan Rice or potentially even as Rice's long-term successor when that eventually becomes necessary. His playing style revolves around control, rhythm, and tactical intelligence rather than explosive athleticism or individual brilliance, which makes him the ideal player to ensure Arsenal's forward players like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and others receive the constant high-quality supply they desperately need to fully unleash their attacking firepower. But here's the critical question that Gunners Updates wants to pose directly to you, the most passionate and knowledgeable supporters in world football. Can Arsenal successfully hold off the aggressive, determined pursuit from Chelsea, Manchester City, and Paris, Saint-Germain to secure this French jewel, potentially for a figure that could climb all the way to £52 million when you factor in various performance-related additions? Do you genuinely believe that securing Bouaddi immediately, even if the agreement includes him remaining in France for one additional season to continue his development, is a strategically superior approach compared to waiting another year and risking a bidding war when his price could double? All the current signs and signals are pointing toward a successful strategic coup for Arsenal, but until Fabrizio Romano delivers his famous "here we go" confirmation indicating the deal is completely finalized, the transfer market will remain an absolute cauldron of anxiety, excitement, hope, and nervous anticipation. What an absolutely massive and significant announcement has just emerged from Arsenal Football Club, as Mikel Arteta has officially revealed his 23-man traveling squad that will be heading to Villa Park for this Saturday's blockbuster Premier League confrontation against Aston Villa, which currently represents one of the most challenging and hostile away fixtures in the entire English top flight. This is precisely the kind of news that sets pulses racing and gets supporters analyzing every single detail, because every name included in this squad tells its own unique story. Every selection carries substantial weight and meaning, and every notable omission inevitably raises questions about fitness, form, tactical considerations, or perhaps transfer-related factors. Let's break down this electrifying squad announcement, one fascinating section at a time, starting with the goalkeepers, where David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale have both been selected to make the trip. Arteta is bringing his trusted goalkeeping duo to what promises to be an extremely intense atmosphere, with David Raya representing the calm, assured presence, the organizer of the defensive unit, and the shot stopper who has literally saved Arsenal countless crucial points throughout this campaign with several match-winning performances. Behind him sits Aaron Ramsdale, who, despite losing his starting position, remains a massive fan favorite thanks to his infectious passion, exceptional distribution skills, and lightning-quick reflexes that have bailaid Arsenal out on numerous occasions. But here's the question that Gunners Updates want supporters to consider carefully. Does Raya automatically keep the gloves after his recent run of performances, or is there even the slightest possibility that Ramsdale could receive a shock recall for a high-intensity pressure cooker match like this one? In my professional opinion, Raya starts because Arteta clearly values stability and consistency, especially in difficult away environments where experience matters enormously. Moving to the defenders, where Arsenal have selected Ben White, Jurrien Timber, Ricardo Calafiori, Takehiro Tomiyasu, and William Saliba, and this is genuinely where things become extremely interesting from a tactical perspective. Arsenal's defensive options right now are looking unbelievably strong, with incredible depth and quality throughout. Ben White brings that dependable week-in, week-out consistency, operating on the right side, where his positional intelligence rarely lets the team down. Jurrien Timber is genuinely looking better and more confident with each passing match, showing calmness, elegance, and fearlessness that suggests he's finally fully adapted to the Premier League's unique demands. Ricardo Calafiori is rapidly becoming a genuine fan favorite thanks to his aggressive overlapping runs, technical quality and bravery on the ball that adds another dimension to Arsenal's attack. Then we have Tomiyasu, who represents the ultimate professional, the tactical Swiss Army knife, who can be deployed almost anywhere across the backline and consistently delivers reliable performances. And William Saliba remains the defensive rock, the left-footed defender blessed with composure far beyond his years, who is absolutely perfect for these tight hostile away fixtures where concentration and positioning prove decisive. But here's the burning tactical question for the Gunners updates community. Who actually starts in central defense alongside Saliba, given the multiple quality options available? Timber, Calafiori, or perhaps Gabriel if he's fit? For me personally, I would select Timber because his current form is simply too impressive to ignore, and he deserves his place in the starting 11. The midfield selection includes Martin Odegaard, Mikel Merino, Martin Zubimendi, Mohamed Elneny, Jorginho, Emile Smith-Rowe, and Ethan Nwaneri. And this list is absolutely stacked with class, experience, creativity, and tactical intelligence throughout. Odegaard serves as the captain, the conductor, the absolute heartbeat of everything positive Arsenal create in the attacking third. Merino brings physicality, aerial presence, progressive passing, and game intelligence that helps Arsenal control matches. Zubimendi operates as the tactical anchor, the press-resistant ball progressor who fits Arteta's systematic approach absolutely perfectly. Jorginho adds experience, composure, and the ability to dictate tempo, especially when Arsenal need to slow games down and assert control. Elneny represents the ultimate professional who never complains, trains immaculately, and always delivers when called upon. Emile Smith-Rowe is a player the fanbase still adores deeply who adds creativity, exceptional ball carrying, and that beautiful instinctive connection with Odegaard. And then there's Ethan Nwaneri, the future superstar who plays with fearlessness and demonstrates unbelievable talent for someone his age. But let's be completely honest, because this section raises several significant questions. Do Merino and Zubimendi both start together providing double protection? Does Arteta prioritize consistency by selecting his established midfield, or does he go bold with youth? Is Smith-Rowe finally getting the increased minutes his talent deserves? Is this potentially the match where he reminds absolutely everyone of his special qualities? In my considered opinion, Arteta will stick with Odegaard, Merino, and Zubimendi, because that trio screams balance, control, dominance, and tactical discipline. Finally, we reach the forwards where Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Raheem Sterling have all been included, and this is where Arsenal possess the firepower to absolutely destroy opposing defenses. Bukayo Saka is the star boy, the talisman, the player who delivers match-winning performances virtually every single week. Trossard offers incredible versatility, clinical finishing, and the ability to operate across multiple attacking positions. Gabriel Martinelli brings lightning pace, unpredictability, and ruthlessness on the counter-attack. Gabriel Jesus operates as the pressing monster, the link-up magician who creates absolute chaos in every area of the attacking third. Kai Havertz provides physical presence, intelligent movement, and a genuine goal threat. Raheem Sterling serves as the experienced wildcard option with magical feet perfect for exploiting tired defenses late in matches. Here's the major tactical debate for Gunners updates community. Who starts on the wings between Martinelli and Trossard, or does one play centrally? Should Havertz start as the main striker, or do you trust Jesus for these crucial away fixtures? My personal take is that Jesus starts because his pressing intensity forces defensive mistakes constantly. Martinelli and Saka stay wide, providing width and pace. Trossard becomes the devastating off-bench weapon to torture exhausted defenders in the final 30 minutes. Will Arsenal maintain their winning momentum with this powerful, balanced squad full of genuine match winners?